Okay, we will now begin the closing statements. And each candidate will have 2 minutes to give their closing statement, and the first candidate is Mr. Benjavenga.
Thank you. I'd like to thank everyone who helped put tonight's debate together, and I'd especially like to thank everyone here for attending. Voters have a clear choice this year. They can turn back the clock and bring back the policies of the last decade, or they can keep change going. I encourage you to keep change going. We can't afford to go back to $1 million budget increases every year, nor can we afford to borrow $2 million annually. Look around. Banks are failing, 401ks are shrinking, and the price of gas is climbing. Our opponents will remind you that taxes went up this year, but they forget to say why. They have amnesia when it comes time to remember that it was their budget and their spending. We did not add any new spending to it. We just got stuck with the bills. Look at our first budget. Spending is flat. Borrowing is down by 2/3. We're making progress, not empty promises. Think back. 2 years ago, the other side promised no tax increase and then raised the taxes right after the election. Matt and I have acted responsibly and will continue to act responsibly, but we'll also live within our means. In this economy, we can't be proposing multi-million-dollar projects, but we can continue low-budget projects targeted at families and neighborhoods, such as Metuchen Road, the curb restoration, curb cutouts, Safe Street, Safe Kids, South Plainfield Avenue, and Oak Tree Road, all done for less than $700,000. We'll also keep reaching across the aisle, and working with fair-minded Democrats. And of course, we'll work to make sure that there is a solution to truck traffic we can all benefit from, Hollywood Avenue. Please consider these things when you vote next month. I'd be honored to serve on the council for another 3 years. Thank you.
Mr. Salerno.
Good evening, everyone. I have no agenda other than taking the next step to make a positive impact in South Plainfield. It does not matter to me who cuts the grand opening ribbon as long as the grand opening ribbon gets cut. I'm young, energetic, and fully capable to be elected as your councilman this year. People always say when I go door to door to their house, "Oh my God, you look so young." Kills me. Well, Rob is our council president, and he's only a year older than I am. So please, don't judge a book by its cover. I don't agree with all the arguing going on at the council meetings. What people fail to realize is everything we vote on is a town issue. It shouldn't be a Republican versus Democratic issue. I'm here to vote with my heart on town issues. I just want to thank you all. This has been a lot of fun. To be honest with you, I'm glad the debate is over. Now I can focus on walking and getting a chance to meet some of you here tonight. No matter who you vote for, I just ask that you please vote with your heart on who you think is best fit to run this town. Best of luck to you, Matt and Rob. Thank you, everyone.
Mr. Inesh.
Thanks, Ron.
I apologize.
Thanks. When I go door to door, people also tell me that I look young. I'd like to thank our sponsors tonight, and I'd like to thank everyone who came out tonight. Thanks for taking time out of your day. You heard the word responsible several times this evening. That's no accident. When Rob and I decided to run, we believed, and we still believe, that we could help bring responsible and accountable government back to South Plainfield. Being responsible means setting priorities, doing what needs to be done, and realizing you can't make everyone happy or make every promise you wish you could make. Our opponents don't seem to understand this. That's not to say that they aren't good people. They are. But unfortunately, electing them and bringing back a Democratic majority to South Plainfield will take South Plainfield backwards, not forwards. And we can't afford to make the same mistakes again. And we can't go back to $1 million spending increases, nor can we afford to go back to big budget deficits and wasteful uses of our tax dollars. And we can't go back to huge borrowing projects, especially during a broken economy. I talked about being responsible. Being responsible also means focusing on the future. While getting our finances back on track was our chief challenge beginning in January, we also made progress on several other fronts. Our bipartisan committee is finally working on a real solution to truck traffic. We're focusing on families and neighborhoods with programs like Safe Streets, Safe Kids, and the Con Street Park revitalization. We're also working cooperatively, whether it's with the school board on shared services or by hiring the best of the best at Borough Hall, regardless of their party. The changes are just starting to take shape. To turn back now would set back all the progress we've made over the last 8 months. Unfortunately, now is not the time for on-the-job training. While I'm not one to typically make a promise, I will make one tonight. If I am so fortunate as to be reelected, you have my word that I will continue to serve the people of this town in an independent, accountable, and responsible manner. You have my word on that. Thank you for considering me when you vote in November, and best of luck to all of you.
And Ms. Butis.
I'd just like once again to thank everybody for coming this evening. It's been a lot of fun. I know everyone had a lot of preparing to do. So once again, we'd like to thank the South Plainfield Observer, the South Plainfield Business Association, and I'd also like to thank my opponents. I know it takes a lot of time out of their day to both be on the Borough Council and to be running for election. They're both young men, so I commend them for stepping into the political ring, something not everybody likes to do these days, but I'm glad to see that we have 4 young people up here who are willing to do it, and hope we all serve as role models for generations to come. No problem, Matt. But I'm not going to talk any more policy. I think you've heard enough about where we are on the issues, so I'd like to ask you for your consideration on Election Day, but even if you don't support us, please go out to the polls. We have a really big election coming up in November. Thank you so much.